Hello and welcome to a short presentation on why fighters aren't boring in D&D by Minimi. So, you might be saying, I'm actually kinda is. Well, you're wrong. And then you might be saying, but, it's a blank slate. That's the whole point of the class. Let's take a look at some fighters in fiction. Fighters like Sephiroth, Jetstream Sam, Cloud, Dante from Devil May Cry, Undyne, Raiden, Master Chief, or Guts, or like any knight ever. They're all the same class. They could all be fighters, but they all use different subclasses, or they all have different flavors. Take a look at Cloud or Guts. They're both the same. Big guy, big sword, but they're wildly different in how they act. So that leads me to the point of blank slate aren't boring. Is an empty canvas art boring? No, there's nothing on it. That's the point of it. You're gonna make something. You're gonna make that character. You're gonna make it go from a white, normal canvas to this hot, steaming, beautiful. So basically, simplicity invites you to add flavor. Abilities like Second Wind, Action Surge, Indomitable aren't descriptive. On the other hand, subclasses are. They have a lot of flavor. So they define your playstyle. They define how you flavor those abilities. A Psy Warrior is gonna flavor their ability differently from how a Eldritch Knight or an Echo Knight is gonna flavor these abilities. So basically, the fighter is the canvas, the subclass is the paint, and you're the brush and also the artist. The brush needs to be of good quality, and the artist needs to know how to use the brush. You need to know how to make a good character. You need to add flavor. And ability size, you get two more. One comes at low level and the other one comes at mid level at 6 and 14. Most campaigns end there at like 10 to the 15 ball mark. So you have more A size than your group on average. This helps you strengthen your character in combat. And often with combat too. Maybe in combat you've maxed out your strength, your dex, or your con. And out of combat, well, you have the opportunity to use these as a mark for psychological growth. Maybe your character has been struggling with parental issues. Maybe he was getting abused. Maybe after that, after an arc, you fix his relationship. Maybe now it's going better. And to show that, you decide to increase his wisdom, and therefore you've shown that your character has grown. And finally, you don't really need to work on many stats simultaneously, like Monk or Paladin. They absolutely need three stats, or about that. A Monk needs what? Dex, Wisdom, Con? They need really high stats in these. So it doesn't really leave you the space to work on any other stats. But you're different. You could also take feats instead of grabbing stats. Instead of taking the power gamer option like Great Weapon Master, you could take Chef. That way you can have more flavor, more potential flavor than other classes because you've got more chances to grab these feats. For power gamers, these bad feats, quote unquote, aren't really lowering your combat potential because you're broken. Fighters have so much versatility. They've got so many good subclasses too, like Echo Knight, Psy Warrior, Battle Master, Rune Knight, Eldritch Knight, Samurai. We won't talk about Bad Knight. You also get Action Surge and healing on a short rest. That's crazy. Make many builds. You can do a dex build. You could do a ranged build. You could do a strength build. You could do a tank build. You could even cast spells with Eldritch Knight. It's crazy the potential for versatility that you can do with this class. So let's make Guts from Berserk. He's a champion fighter because big sword, big damage. You can also give him the mercenary variant for his background, and then grab the very human race for Great Weapon Master. So you've got a really simple concept, but it's got a lot of potential, which is found in its flavor, in its backstory, in its roleplay. For example, you could ask yourself, how could this trauma affect him in and out of combat? Well, you can maybe make a madness system with your DM. Maybe his PTSD pops back up in mid combat. That could be really interesting. And out of combat, you can make it so that his goals are integral to the overall story. Maybe his Griffith is the BBG, or a friend of the BBG. And for that reason, maybe you're the leader of the group. Maybe you're the one that assembled it. Or maybe you're at rock bottom when the group found you. That could be really interesting too, because maybe you could feel indebted to them. Maybe you want to pay back your debt. Maybe one day when your party is going to be down, you might want to sacrifice yourself for them. Maybe you'll put your body on the line. You risk yourself to pay back your debt. That could be super interesting. Another example could be the Jedi. You could take any race really. You could take Gith Yankee, Gith Jedi. Those could be interesting. For the subclass, obviously Psych Warrior. For the background, you can take Knight, and then for the feats, you can just grab, I don't know, Mobile, or Alert, or Telekinetic, or Fate, or Shadow Touch, or Telepathic. You've got a lot of options. Now, the question is, do you use your powers for evil or for good, or more of a neutral person? Or have you been slowly corrupted, like Anakin? Maybe you started off as a good soul, then because of his weakness, he was manipulated and controlled by the BBG. Maybe you became evil afterwards, maybe you joined him, and then the party has a race against time where they try to get you back before you're fully corrupted. And then you have a redemption arc. Wait, that's just Sasuke. Never mind. Well, it's still a good idea. Anyways, in conclusion, if you still think that fighter is boring, you're boring. Matter of fact, you also stink. And on that last note, about multiclassing. Well, you've got so much potential for that. You can multiclass with basically every single class. You could do fighter warlock, fighter ranger, fighter. Wait, no, that's not multiclass. Fighter monk. That sucks. Fighter barbarian, fighter paladin, fighter cleric, fighter sorcerer. You've got so many good potential. I mean, this class is basically Flavor Town, really. So, on an end note, thank you for listening and please like and sub.